but rest of us don't. Number one, I think you should boil it down to a problem solution as basic as possible. Like when I look at Airbnb or the pitch deck from Uber, it's super simple. It comes down to one sentence. This is the problem we're solving, and these are the people we're solving it for. Those two are very important early on, and you build on that.
Yeah, I think that today, 10 years ago, it would have been taking more resources to develop MVP, but today really it's a commodity. You can really hire people that are, all over the world, do it for cheaply, and necessarily, depending on your budget, you can decide the platform, you can decide, what market you're going to be in. You can use platform like Upwork. You can, partner up with a co-founder that is a developer. You can find many ways to develop your MVP relatively for cheap. And the aim is not to develop an MVP and that's it. The aim is to develop an MVP, test your hypothesis, learn from it. Then something is going to happen. Either it's going to work great, which never happens, so that's not going to happen. And the other thing that's most probable is something will happen, you'll learn from it. It could be a positive thing, Absolutely. It could not work, that's also fine. You will learn from it so much that you can take your MVP, adjust it, and test it again and see how it goes. So I think today it's pretty achievable relatively quickly.
We have all the tools we need to do something like this.
Yeah.
Do you want to do number two or should I do number two?
What's number two?
Of how to approach MVP.
Do it because I don't know.
Number two, research, be realistic with your numbers. I think it's easy to research it online these days. If you come up with an idea of there are this many people looking for this product and it has $120 billion market, and if I get 1% of it, that's the wrong approach. You have to be realistic. How big is your MVP market or your product market? It's way smaller than you think. Just because there are, billions of dollars spent on taxi, Uber doesn't say we have this big problem. They focus on their segment, their target audience, their city.
The target audience for Uber in the first year was only black taxi
in San Francisco. Yeah. The ones who are going clubs. So the correct
limo services in San Francisco. That was the initial market.
That was the market, and they were focusing on that.
Yeah.
The other thing about realistic numbers are go look at average conversions. If a website converts at 2% on an average, you have to be realistic with your numbers. You go like, okay, if we spend this much money on advertisement and SEO, blah, 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 they come to the website, and if we get 1% conversion or 1.5%, if you go like 20% conversion, then all of a sudden your numbers are wrong.
First it depends. If you're doing e-commerce or something like that, you should also do an MVP for sure. You should expect to convert less in the beginning, obviously, because you don't have any data, you don't have any leverage in terms of buying media. But you should always take this approach. And on the other hand, if you are a growth startup, you should obviously not expect profitability from your MVP, but you should, prove your hypothesis to take it to investors, show them the machine and the potential for scale.
Number three, the third thing you should do is that an MVP stage, you need to, I forgot what I was going to say, number three. I had it in the top of my mind. Number three, guys, you don't need an app. Chances are 99% of your ideas, you don't need an app. A lot of people talk about their ideas. They're like, I need an app to do this. I'm like, well, can you do it in text message? Can you do it manually through Craigslist? Airbnb started with Craigslist. Uber started without an app. They were just texting their drivers and it was a text service type of thing.
If you can do a web solution, that's the best.
Get creative. There are hundreds of tools out there, from Zoom, email, Google Forms and website and landing pages. If you can do it without coding, do it. It's cheaper. You get the validation. Once you find the problem solution, then you can automate it through an app.
I'm not sure if it's realistic to do it completely without coding, because still you need to test your own IP at the end of the day. But I like what you say, take existing tools, integrate them together, take existing solutions, don't reinvent the wheel, and then, test that for sure.
So what I did, even